A lot of stuff has been happening this past, actually this past month, since the last time that we did a video recording. And probably one of the biggest changes that I have seen is in my breathing. My diaphragm muscle is a little weaker, which means that when I'm speaking, it takes a little bit more effort and I get out of breath. So when I'm singing, it's I need to take more breath, and then I yawn and I yawn. Or if I'm telling a story, I yawn and yawn. So that would be one of the biggest changes that I'm going through so far. I'm going to have to make some really serious choices, and I've been thinking about these choices and trying to think of the pros and the cons, and I was hoping this day wouldn't come. And one of these choices I'll have to make is whether or not I would like to use a feeding tube if my swallowing muscles stop working. I've had a few occasions where I've choked on some food, and another time I was trying to swallow and the muscles in the back of my throat were really not working. And so that will be a big decision for me, is whether or not I should use a feeding tube, which is, you know, a tube inserted directly to my stomach, and instead of eating by mouth, I will use different types of formula. It can be homemade or it can be store-bought, but then I'll be eating and getting all my nutrients through an external tube that's connected directly to my stomach. The other big decision with my breathing is whether or not I would like to have some kind of invasive breathing support. One day I'll have to decide whether or not I would like to have a trach and rely on a machine to help me breathe. The question I can ask myself now openly is, what does it mean if I decide to have a trach? You know, what's that gonna mean as for others around me, the type of care that I will be needing? Yeah. You know the movie, The Man in Two Brains, The Man with Two Brains? I mean, Steve Martin did this movie. It's The Man with Two Brains, and I saw it when I was a teenager, and I always thought it was pretty cool. He has this brain that he carries around with him. She talks, and she has feelings and everything. And lately I've been thinking about my husband.
Here's brain.
If I decide to go with invasive medical procedures like a trach to help me breathe through a machine, I will need 24/7 care. And do we have a system in place that will actually support my family, my friends, so that my family and friends don't burn out, so that I'm also taken care of with dignity, with respect, with lots of care, and so that plays into my decisions. Okay, the disease, the prognosis is from 2 to 5 years, but it can be different for some people. But if I need medical, I think it's called medical invasive procedures, how can I be guaranteed that I'm not a burden? But at the same time,